Good evening, everyone. Today is the 128th Sunday Sahityak Satsang of iSPELL, and on this occasion, I would like to invite Dr. Archana Singh, the event coordinator of this month, to welcome the respected invitees and to introduce the Master of Ceremonies. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, one and all, virtually present here. Today, it's 128th episode of Sunday Sahityak Satsang, and this is the last event. And in this last event, we are going to listen to Dr. Susheel Kumar Sharma on a very interesting topic. And the topic is uh, religious and secular elements in literature. So first of all, I welcome Dr. Sharma for accepting the invitation because today is 25th December and it's very busy day and it's very holy day. So today we are going to listen to on this interesting topic because religion leaves a great impact on literature. No writer can go uninfluenced by some kind of religion or religious dogmas, whether positively or negatively, intentionally or unintentionally. Every writer expresses such thoughts in his work which reflect religious background. Religious prospers through literature, and literature is saturates religion. They enjoy harmonious and health coexistence when people understand them properly and places provide them pleasant atmosphere. So today we are going to listen to Dr. Sharma on this special topic. So I welcome on behalf of iSPELL, I welcome Dr. Sharma. Welcome, sir. To chair the session, we have Dr. Anita Shah, Madam. Madam is an assistant professor of English in Government Digvijay PG Autonomous College, um, Rajnandgaon, Chhattisgarh. And to chair the session, to moderate the session as Master of Ceremonies, we have Mrs. Manjari Singh, Madam. Mrs. Manjari Singh, Madam is also an assistant professor of English, Government Digvijay PG Autonomous College, Rajnandgaon, Chhattisgarh. So I hand over the virtual platform to Mrs. Manjari Singh. Madam, please continue.
Thank you, Anjana ma'am. First of all, I would like to thanks Ghanshyam sir, Garcha ma'am, Archana ma'am, and Chandan Soni sir for providing me this platform, national level platform. Uh, I am Manjari Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Government Digvijay College, Rajnandgaon. I feel privileged to welcome you all on 120th and last Sunday Sahityak Satsang of the year 2022, organized by Indigenous Society for the Promotion of English Language and Literature, iSPELL. Respected dignitaries, guests, and audience from across the country, a very warm good evening to all of you present here on this auspicious day. I would like to wish you all Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. As we all know, New Year is around the corner and we all are here to celebrate this in the form of literary satsang. Satsang means religious or spiritual preaching. We have been gathering here on every Sunday to gain knowledge and to collect the valuable preaching given by different learned preachers across the country. Today, on Christmas Day, when everyone out is celebrating Christmas with their family and friends in homes and churches with prayers and sweets, like them, we are also here to do the same but in a literary manner. So it is a beautiful coincidence that last Sahityik Satsang of the year falls on Christmas. So we are celebrating our Sahityik Satsang, uh, Sahityik Satsang, the religious day with intellectual talk together. It is a kind it is a kind of sign that God is also blessing us to promote and propagate this platform of iSPELL. So without taking much time, I would like to introduce our today's keynote speaker, Dr. Susheel Kumar Sharma sir. He has completed his MA in English in 1982 and MPhil in 1983. He earned PhD degree on his thesis entitled The Theme of Temptation in Milton in 1989 and diploma in creative writing in English in 1991. He has been serving the University of Allahabad, Prayagraj as a professor of English since 2003. Earlier, he has served Indira Kala Sangeet University, Khairatgarh, GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar, and Chitrakoot University of Rural Development, Chitrakoot in various capacities. Professor Sharma has published 5 books, 55 research papers, 10 interviews, and 30 book reviews. He is also on the editorial and reviewers panel of some journals. Some of his works can be viewed at academia.edu.com. He has completed 3 research projects and has successfully guided 4 masters and 6 doctoral research candidates. He has participated in about 100 national and international conferences, seminars, and presented paper therein. He himself has also organized many conference, seminars, and workshops. He has also delivered about 200 lectures in various Indian and foreign universities on diverse topics on different assignments. Dr. Sharma is a creative writer too. Some of his poems have been published in Canada, France, Ireland, Scotland, United Kingdom, and United States of America. His third collection of poems, Unwinding Hope, published in 2020, has attracted many good reviews. Some of his poems have been translated into Assamese, French, Hindi, Lithuanian, Polish, Sanskrit, Serbian, Tamil, Telugu, Turkish, and Ukrainian languages. Professor Sharma was conferred upon the AESI Lifetime Achievement Award 2020 of the Association for English Studies of India in the 64th All India English Teachers Conference held at Magad University, Bodh Gaya from 6 to 8 February 2020. Professor Sharma's current interests include culture studies, English language teaching, comparative literature, English studies in India, and contemporary literary theory. He is a life member of Indian Association of English Studies, Comparative Literature Association of India, Indian Association for Canadian Studies, and Forum on Contemporary Theory. He has been member of Ralph W. Emerson Society, Worcester, and Indian Association for Studies in Contemporary Literature, besides many others. So this is the brief introduction of our keynote speaker, Dr. Susheel Kumar Sharma, sir. I welcome you, sir, in behalf of iSPELL family. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Manjari Singh, for a wonderful introduction. I hope I come to your expectations. I think you are able to see the screen that I am sharing. Hello. Am I
Yes,
audible?
yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
And are you able to see the screen? I'm sharing my
Yes,
screen.
yes, sir. We can see.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm grateful to Indian Society for the promotion of English language and literature, iSPELL India, Professor Ghanshyam Iyengar, the spirit behind iSPELL, and the convener of today's seminar, Dr. Archana Singh, for giving me an opportunity to talk to you. I'm equally grateful to the chairperson, Dr. Anita Saha, Assistant Professor of English, Digvijay PG Autonomous College, Rajnandgaon, Chhattisgarh. Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Manjari Singh, Assistant Professor of English, Government Digvijay Autonomous PG College, Rajnandgaon, same college. Mr. Jitendra Shukla, who arranged for the internet today, for today's event here. And the listener participants from distant places. What could be a better day for discussing the religious and secular elements in lecture than today, that is Christmas. Since we are largely a group of teachers and researchers in English, I presume that by literature, we take it to mean English literature. Still, for making some comparison, I'll be referring to any literature also here and there. So religious and secular elements in literature will largely deal with the instances and particularly the canonical works that we deal with in our classrooms. Let me begin by asking a simple question that has been answered by Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Are secular and atheist synonyms? So the dictionary says that they are not synonymous words. They may often come up in the similar contexts, but secular and atheist, they are not synonymous. Secular is most often used as an adjective, although it is also used as a noun, while atheist is mostly found as a noun. Additionally, atheist means a person who does not believe in the existence of a god or any gods, whereas secular has a number of meanings, including not overtly or specifically religious, or not bound by monastic vows or rules, and occurring once in an age or a century. Now the question is, I have placed this religious and secular at par in the same sentence, in the same topic. So what is the relationship between secular and religion? So is secular always related to religion? So in the same dictionary says, in contemporary English, secular is primarily used to distinguish something such as attitude, belief, or position that is not specifically religious or sectarian in nature. For example, music with no religious connection or affiliation might be described as secular. However, certain meanings of secular do have some basis in religion, such as not bound by monastic vows or rules, or relating to or forming clergy, not belonging to a religious order or congregation. Now, a brief history of secularism. So secularism as a movement is directed away from the otherworldliness to life on earth. In the Middle Ages in Europe, there was a strong tendency for religious persons to despise human affairs and to meditate on God and the afterlife. As a reaction to this medieval tendency, secularism at the time of the Renaissance exhibited itself in the development of humanism, when people began to show more interest in human cultural achievements and the possibilities of their fulfillment in this world. So the movement towards secularism has been in progress during the entire course of modern history and has often been viewed as being anti-Christian and anti-religious. Now, in the latter half of 20th century, however, some theologians began advocating secular Christianity. They suggested that Christianity should not be connected only with the sacred and the otherworldly, but the people should find in the world the opportunity to promote Christian values. Now, herein lies the catch. Promote Christian values. So if you are promoting Christian values, can you still be secular? Or you are simply trying to hoodwink the world by saying that this is how you are able to become secular despite being Christian. And this is one of the theses I shall be talking about in this lecture. Then these theologians maintain that the real meaning of the message of Jesus can be discovered and fulfilled in the everyday affairs of secular living. So you are the follower of Jesus, but you are not a Christian, but you are fulfilling and you are being guided by his messages. There can be nothing more confusing than this. And this is not what I have written. This I have taken from encyclopedia, right? So this is how these people, they try to hoodwink and they try to create they try to create a confusion, and they try to wear a mask of being a secular despite being a Christian to the core. Now I have a word here has been used. The word is religion. So a word about its translation, it's equivalent in Indian languages. In India, we generally use a word called Dharma, and Dharma is not equivalent to religion. So our fight is not against Jesus, or our fight is not against Christian. Our fight is against these religious elements. Why? I shall be talking about it later. So what is Dharma? You see, most of the information that I have taken up here is available in the public domain. And therefore, my interpretation or putting all these facts may be unique. Otherwise, whatever facts I have taken, they are available in the public domain, and you can yourself verify all those things. So what is Dharma? So Dharma has got multiple meanings in Indian religions. There is no direct single word translation for Dharma in European languages, and it is commonly translated as righteousness or merit or religious and moral duties governing the individual conduct. So the definition of religion, the definition of Dharma, they do not go together. So when we translate religion as Dharma, we are on the wrong track. So Dharma is different and religion is something different. So secular is against religion, secular is not against Dharma. So this is the first distinction that I would like to point out. Now, in Hinduism, Dharma is one of the four components of Purusharth, the aims of life, Dharma, Kam, Moksha. And as a matter of fact, when we are dealing with the other three Purusharths, for example, Arth, Kam, and Moksha, then also Dharma is present over there. So Dharma is not something separate that has got to be understood separately, but it is a part of all the four Purusharths. For example, Earth. If you remove Dharma from it, then one can say, well, earning money or earning earth is one of the Purusharths. So I'll murder somebody, I'll snatch his money, and that is how I earn my earth. And this is how Valmiki, before he became the saint, used to earn his earth, because he did not understand the meaning of the Dharma. So what is to be done? Only that earth is acceptable which has been earned through dharmic means. So Dharma is also attached to earth. Otherwise, that earth is not earth. So Dharma is present in Kam also. So when calm is associated with dharma, then we are in the field of procreation. But if we are simply worrying about calm, irrespective of dharma, then we are in the field of vyabhichar. So that is how we have to see this dharma. Now, let me switch over. Let me change my tone and draw your attention to the preamble of the Constitution of India, which reads, "We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute into a sovereign socialist secular," has been inserted. Earlier, this was not there, but in the through this 42nd amendment of the Constitution that was enacted in 1976, this word secular has been inserted, and this secular is coupled with liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. So this secular is also there. So the national character happens to be secular, but liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship is there. Now we have to see that the question that I'm going to ask here is that, can this liberty of expression or belief be exercised irrespective of others' liberty of thought, or there are certain limitations to it? Can some overt and covert efforts being made? Can overt and covert efforts be made to change the belief system or the faith system of somebody else? Now, what is the constitutional directive? Now, in 1994, there was a case in the Supreme Court of India, S.R. Bomai versus Union of India, in which it was established that India was secular since the formation of the Republic. India became a republic on 26th of January 1950. So this, despite the fact that this word had been inserted in 1976, the Supreme Court says that India had been a secular country since the formation of the Republic. Now, once again, this question is very much important as to why this date of 26th of January 1950 only was accepted by the Supreme Court of India and not earlier. On the other hand, there are a large number of Hindu preachers and Hindu believers who believe that Hinduism basically happens to be a secular religion, if at all Hinduism is a religion. So this is exactly the point of debate between the Constitution, the courses that we are offering, and the constitutional directive and the courses that we are offering. So we have to try to see how these paradigms interact with each other and how all these factors in this matrix of various factors, they play a role. So the judgment says that in matters of state, religion has no place. And if the Constitution requires the state to be secular in thought and action, the same requirement attaches to political parties as well. If this is the case, then what about the duties of the government colleges or the government teachers or the students or all those persons who are taking their degrees from recognized institutions? After all, these recognized institutions happen to be a government institution in one way or the other. They might not be taking any grant, but the recognition, as a matter of fact, is coming from the government. So the Constitution does not recognize and it does not permit mixing religion and state power. That is the constitutional injunction. And none of us can say otherwise so long as the Constitution governs this country. Politics and religion cannot be mixed as per this judgment and as per the various pronouncements of various political parties and of individuals. But the question in the same breath should be asked, can religion and education be mixed? And further, the constitutionally state-owned educational institutions are prohibited from imparting religious instructions, and Article 27 of the Constitution prohibits using taxpayers' money for the promotion of any religion. If that is the case, how is it that in the English classrooms we are promoting Christianity? Overtly and covertly, both. So that is one of the questions. Any state government which pursues non-secular or non-secular on policies or non-secular course of action acts contrary to the constitutional mandate and renders itself amenable to action against Article 356. If this is the case, then can the teachers in the university courses be allowed to do it? And can they indulge in religious conversions directly or indirectly or overtly or covertly? Having set the tone of my lecture or my propositions, I make a pronouncement that Indian literature is not religious, but Indian literature is Dharmic. But English literature happens to be Christian. Now, why am I making this pronouncement? This pronouncement is necessary because a large number of teachers, a large number of students, they are made to believe that literature basically deals with culture, and no culture perhaps can exist in air. And some kind of religious leanings will always be there in the literature. So even in Indian literature, some kind of religious leanings will be there, and therefore Indian literature is also religious, and English literature is similarly religious. And because we are into English studies, there is no way out but to accept Christianity in the classroom and to propagate it. So it is in this context that I am making the is Dharmic, but English literature is Christian. I have already explained the term Dharmic and religious above. So what is Dharmic is acceptable, but what is religious is not acceptable according to the constitutional directives. So the issue is, if this Christianity is being discussed in the classroom through literature, what is the purpose? The purpose is to Christianize through education or proselytize through Christian education, or the purpose is to debunk things cannot be done as per the constitutional mandate. Since the classroom is not meant to proselytize, we cannot preach Christianity in the classrooms, nor are we there to condemn any religious view over there. Why so? Because that is the constitutional directive. Why? We are not supposed to be talking about all these issues. So religion and education cannot be mixed. And education does not simply mean that we have to be for or against a particular kind of a religion. Now, actually, all this debate came into existence with the arrival of the British on the scene, when Macaulay and Srirampur mission, they came head to head in Bengal in early 19th century. Srirampur mission, Srirampur happens to be a town in Bengal. So this was the headquarter of the missionaries, and these missionaries were basically Dutch missionaries. That means Protestants, right? And Macaulay was basically Anglican, Anglican in faith. So there was a conflict of interest between Macaulay and Srirampur mission. Both of them wanted to give education through English medium, and Srirampur mission had has outlined certain texts that have got to be taught in the classroom. Naturally, whenever the course program is there, some syllabus has got to be drafted. So the debate was which textbooks will be prescribed and which textbooks will not be prescribed. So Srirampur mission people, because they were missionaries, they were all for Bible, and they wanted to preach Christianity through the classrooms by prescribing various religious books in the text. For example, they said they wanted Bible to be taught either in full or in parts, for example, Proverbs or Book of Job, etc. But when the issue was placed before Macaulay, he said that all these books need not be taught, and no reference has got to be made to Christianity in the classroom. And as a matter of fact, Macaulay was very clever, because all this was being discussed in around 1840s, and in 1857 a revolution took place on the basis of religious sentiments only, because the people by and large felt that they were being converted and they were forcefully being made to convert their religion. One of the main issues in 1857 revolution was greasing of cartridges, right? That hurt the religious sentiments of not only the Hindus but also of the Muslims. There was a large group of intellectuals in Bengal who had formed a group, and this group was known as Tagore's father was there. There were three persons. Devendranath Tagore. They formed a group, and these people, they started reciting various Christian prayers in their temples. These persons were also looked down upon by the Bengali society. And can anybody help me in naming that group? बताएंगे भाई कौन कोई आप में से देवेंद्रनाथ टैगोर और दो लोग और थे
ब्रह्म समाज.
Yes, Brahma Samaj. Yes, thank you very much. Brahma Samaj was started, and these people were not acceptable to the larger society of Bengal, and there was a message that Britishers have engaged some of these people who got themselves converted to Christianity. So English education was not to be accepted, and whatever was being said by these people, English education or the Britishers, that was an anathema. So Macaulay perhaps was aware of this issue, and Macaulay therefore deliberately made an effort that this Bible should not become a part of the course in any form. And he removed all those texts from his course where there was a direct reference or direct reference to the Bible or some teachings. Presently in the syllabus, this sort of debate does not take place. For example, at Allahabad University, in BA course, we earlier had a chapter from the Bible under the heading Book of Job. Now that has been replaced by the Proverbs. So meaning thereby that the acceptance of Christianity in the Hindu mind and Hindu classroom or the government classrooms has come, and this is perhaps in contradiction to whatever has been written in the Constitution. So as a matter of fact, these syllabus committees and the individuals who prescribe those books, they can be dragged to the court. Now, before I move further, let me talk about Macaulay's legacy in the present day world and the present day universities. Perhaps all of you know that there was a point point of dispute when the East India Company wanted to disburse the amount that had been kept for the development of literatures of this country. So what was this meaning of the literatures of this country? There were two groups. One was known as Orientalist group. There was another Anglicist group. And this debate was going on. And then the Governor General, the then Governor General, formed a committee. That was a one-man committee headed by Macaulay. And Macaulay gave a wrote his minutes and gave his judgment in favor of English. So the Anglicist school won. Now, in those minutes, what was Macaulay doing? Macaulay was trying to adopt the intellectual life, and he wanted Indians to adopt the same line by imitation and mimicry, meaning thereby that he wanted the Indians to be mimics and to be the imitators rather than creative thinkers themselves. When I say creative thinkers, I do not mean creative artists like poets, etc. I mean creative thinkers who are able to think critically. So thinking critically is different from being a creative writer. Now, what is Macaulay doing? He is trying to create brown sahibs. He is trying to prove that white people were more intelligent than the brown Indians, particularly the Hindus. And his instance against Hinduism becomes very apparent when we read the minutes. We find him dismissive of the Indian, particularly Hindu belief systems, Hindu history, Hindu moral philosophy, and physical and moral philosophy, astronomy, geography, medicine, religion, and law. He does not like anything of this country. And then Macaulay was objective as far as far more than to introduce progress and civilization to the Indians. And he was trying to he was trying to create a sort of civilizing mission, white man's civilizing mission. And he compared the situation to that of Russia. He says the languages of Europe civilized Russia. And exactly he says that this is what Hindus need to be done. Right? So I cannot doubt that they will do for the Hindu what they have done for the Tatar. So Tatar here for Russia. So as they civilized Russia, exactly in the same way the Hindus will be civilized through English. Now Zachary Macaulay, and the father of Charles Macaulay, he worked endlessly to Christianize and improve the world. What was his way to improve the world? By Christianizing. So he was working in Sierra Leone as one important part of Africa where diamonds are available. He was a governor there. So he was trying to Christianize people. Now, there is a letter that has been written by Charles Macaulay to his father. It will be better if I share the screen from the book itself so that it gives you the sense of being more authentic. Are you able to see it? Hello?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
My dear father, this is dated October 1836. October 12, 1836. Written from Kolkata, Calcutta, the then Calcutta. This is what he says. Our English schools are flourishing wonderfully. We find it difficult indeed, in some places impossible, to provide instruction for all who want it. Even today, this is the situation. If you go to a missionary school in Bilaspur, the principal over there will say no seats are available. Right? You go to Rajnandgaon English medium school, no seats are available. So at the single town of Hooghly, 1,400 boys are learning English. The effect of this education on the Hindus is prodigious. No Hindu who has received an English education ever remains sincerely attached to his religion. Some continue to profess it as a matter of policy, but many profess themselves pure deists, and some embrace Christianity. Some of us who deal with Indian writing in English will certainly recollect how that family got itself converted to Christianity and then migrated to America. R.C. Dutt family got converted to Christianity, migrated. Raja Ram Mohan Roy converted himself to Christianity, was buried in England. So all these people, they embraced Christianity. It is my firm belief that if our plans of education are followed up, there will not be a single idolater among the respectable classes in Bengal 30 years hence. And this will be effected without any efforts to proselytize, without the smallest interference with religious liberty, merely by natural operation of knowledge and reflection. I heartily rejoice in the prospect. Now, let me once again refer to this Macaulay versus Sri Rampur mission controversy. So, this is clear, or you want this letter to be read in full? Right?
Clear, sir. Yes, sir.
I can share this letter later, right?
Please. Yes.
Now this is clear. Now this is clear that Sri Rampur people, they wanted to convert people. Directly. Is this file visible? Hello.
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 Yeah. Now it's appearing.
Are you able to see the?
Yes.
No, sir.
Now, Macaulay, through his education policy. Hello. Macaulay, through his education policy, was trying to convert people indirectly, while Sri Ram mission people were interested in converting people directly. So overt plan and covert plan, these were the two plans. Macaulay, being a better administrator, was for covert planning, and unfortunately we are continuing with the same situation. We, the teachers of English, have become a party to the covert translation, the covert conversion of the Indians or the Hindus, particularly to Christianity. I once again repeat, Macaulay says, no Hindu who has received an English education ever continues to be sincerely attached to his religion. Some continue to profess it as a matter of policy, but many profess themselves as pure deists, and some embrace Christianity. The case with Mohammedans is very different. The best educated Mohammedan often continues to be a Mohammedan still. The reason is plain. The Hindu religion is so extravagantly absurd that it is impossible to teach a boy astronomy, geography, natural history without completely destroying the hold with that religion has on his mind. But the Mohammedan religion belongs to a better family. Abrahamic religion, because Christianity also comes from the same stock. So it has very much in common with Christianity, and even where it is most absurd, it is reasonable when compared with Hinduism. It is my firm belief that if our plans of education are followed up, there will not be a single idolater among the respectable classes in Bengal 30 years hence. So what Macaulay was planning was that within 30 years, the entire population of Bengal has got to be converted to Christianity, and this is how the rule of England was going to be permanent. You see, in Portugal, when these Portuguese people came to Goa to establish their colony, they were trying to convert people. They were trying to establish their reign in two ways. Number one, they were trying breeds between the Indians and the Portuguese people. They used to call them Luso Indians. But and they used to convert them to Christianity, and those who were the neo converts, they used to be, their progress used to be monitored very rigorously, and those who did not accept Christianity, or those who had converted but would not agree, would not stick to the Christian traditions, they will be persecuted through inquisitions. So that history I have talked about elsewhere, but these people, they were not interested in developing these Anglo-Indians. Some of these Luso-Indians later on mixed up with the Europeans, with the Britishers, and they were termed Anglo-Indians. But as a class, this group was not encouraged, while this group was encouraged as a class by the Portuguese. But here, Macaulay was trying to perpetuate his rule, the British rule, only through converting the people of India and making them Christians. So if one reads the above extract from this letter in conjunction with his minutes, one can easily note the contradiction in Macaulay's statement on the role of the state in matter of religion and religious conversions. His contempt and hatred of Hindus, heathens, like that of a typical Christian bigot, is quite apparent. Whatever Macaulay proposed was, as a matter of fact, legalized in the form of English Education Act 1835 by the Council of India. Later on, he also drafted this penal code, and the effort was to prove themselves more wise, more just, more humane, more anxious, and particularly the Indian intellectuals accepted their superiority. We started considering the white people more wise, more just, more humane, and more anxious to improve our conditions, right? Now, fortunately or unfortunately, the same thing continues. Now, what is the outcome? The outcome of the modern day, outcome of all this is the modern day education system, where despite the several recommendations of various educational commissions, we continue with the instruments of colonial control, Christian control, which indirectly is the Christian control, without any amendments being made. For example, let me give you a very typical example of food. Why is this necessary? This is necessary because an indirect effort is being made to Christianize the entire country through education. And this includes medical education also. For example, food. Food is classified as sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic food in the Bhagavad Gita and other Indian texts on yoga and Ayurveda. And each type of food has got a different type of effect on the physical as well as mental being of the consumer. Sattvic food is considered purest form, right? That induces calmness in mind, rejuvenates body. Rajasic food stimulates and contributes to physical and emotional stress. Too much of such a diet can push one towards imbalanced life, like that. But what does the Western science say about this food? They classify food as protein, carbohydrates, vitamins, fats, minerals, fibers, and water, etc. Machines have been developed to identify food items, but this certainly is no better way of classifying food. While the Indian way appears to be the final, the Western system seems to be changing its stand every now and then. For example, earlier there was no difference between animal and plant proteins, but now they make it. Now the scientists make it. So the Western science is moving towards taking the source of the product also into consideration. Similarly, earlier the Western science did not make any difference between the animal fat and plant fat, but now it makes it. So Indian or Ayurvedic sciences make a difference among the fats obtained from different animals as well. And the different kinds of characteristics are attributed to them, though perhaps this cannot be proved on the basis of existing machines. So the fault lies with the machine, the fault does not lie with the classification. Now, what do these Indian textbooks say? Indian textbooks mention only the Western approach to food, and the native take on the issue is ignored altogether. For example, in one of the textbooks, the scientific statement is made, I quote, protein is a large category of molecules. They give structure and support to body cells and are necessary for immune function, movement, chemical reactions, hormone synthesis, and more. And they are all made up of tiny building blocks called amino acids, 9 of which are essential to be consumed. A body needs them, but cannot make them on its own. So one needs to get them in one's diet. The following are the sources of protein: meat, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy foods, fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, and seeds. So the essential amino acids can be found in many different animal proteins such as beef, poultry, and eggs. So according to the above information, it is absolutely necessary for one to be non-vegetarian to remain healthy, although the history of civilization tells us otherwise. So again, the scientific content indirectly says that the proteins or acids obtained from halal or non-halal or haram meats is the same. So is their effort to propagate the Western scientific attitudes. The Indian textbook authors are actually promoting a value in eating habits. They are prompting the readers to turn non-vegetarian in the name of teaching science, irrespective of their faith and ethos. Even a Jain student who is taught at home to consume only vegetarian food items and shun violence in any form is taught at the school to eat non-vegetarian meals. So if this information is examined critically, one realizes that there is nothing scientific in the above description of proteins. Everything that consists of molecules and atoms is common knowledge. Only proteins and amino acids do not constitute a cell. No artificial cell has been created simply by collecting certain proteins and acids till date. There is no unanimity amongst the scientists over the number of nine of these as well. So are we giving correct and true information to the unsuspecting student in the name of scientific education? However, not giving this false information in the books makes the formerly colonized feel guilty, unscientific, and uneducated. The colonized feel inferior and the ignorant without any false information, right? Now, since my time is running short, I'm moving on to the morality place. The Christianity, how is this Christianity I talked about this example, one word about this food example, because these days food studies in literature are becoming very popular under the influence of cultural studies. So one has to see how this Christianity is being promoted in this country, and how non-vegetarianism is being promoted in the name of science. Coming to this English literature, Christian elements, we found the first reference is there in the form of morality in miracle plays. Now, morality plays or miracle plays are generally not taught in an MA course. But if we see this T.S. Eliot's Murder in the Cathedral, don't we feel that this is one of the miracle plays that is being talked about over there? After all, a miracle play used to present a real or fictitious account of the life and miracles and martyrdom of a saint. And this is exactly what T.S. Eliot is also doing in The Murder in the Cathedral. So once we have stopped teaching miracle plays, T.S. Eliot once again figures in, and the miracle plays appear in 20th century. So T.S. Eliot used to proclaim himself to be an Anglo-Catholic. So, and he was a great religious voice of his times. And he says a martyrdom is always the design of God, and for him love to his ways, it's never the design of man. For the true martyr is he who becomes the instrument of God, who has lost his will to the will of God. Now, this is a speech from the play, Beckett's speech. Right? Now, this speech is glorified. Oh, in the name of God, martyrdom is there. Now, just see, martyrdom in the name of God, because God wishes you to sacrifice, you are sacrificing. But what is the Indian take? In India, we say karmanye va adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Right? And if Arjun is told hatova parpasi swargam jitva bokshese mahim, and therefore take your own decision. And therefore we do not ask the question if Arjun was a martyr or Krishna was a martyr. Then so a new idea in terms of Christianity is put into our minds by saying that martyrdom is necessary, right? And the saint is martyred, therefore he is greater. But one who is doing his duty is not a martyr, and therefore Krishna, the status of Krishna or the status of Arjun is lesser than that of a Christian martyr. Now, a morality play. Morality plays once again are not being taught these days because they used to be allegorical dramas popular in Europe. And you find Spenser's Fairy Queen. So what is the Fairy Queen? But you see, if allegory used to be there in the morality plays, then in Fairy Queen also we have got typical virtues like love, religion, monarchy, role of gender, good versus evil. And we find that different kinds of virtues are there that have been taken up, that have been presented, they have been dealt with in different books. Virtues like holiness, temperance, chastity, virtues. 6 virtues particularly, holiness, temperance, chastity, friendship, justice, and courtesy. So this is an allegory for all these virtues, and all these virtues. What is this holiness? Somebody in the introduction was saying today happens to be a holiday. A holy day for whom? The Christians or for Hindus? So without realizing the fact that all of us are here Hindus, and this day perhaps is not a holy day, for this day is a holy day only for the Christians, we start wishing everyone happy Christmas. I'm not a Christian, so I do not need all those wishes. But if my friend is a Christian, I need to wish him, right? So we need to respect the individuality and the religious feelings of a particular person. But since we deal with this English literature, we have changed our sensibility altogether, and we start realizing as if everyone else is a Christian and he needs to be congratulated for this particular day. Now, what happens to the secular elements? Chaucer's prologue to the Canterbury Tales happens to be the first secular text to my mind. There are several ecclesiastical characters over there. Knight is there, squire is there, a yeoman is there, prioress is there, a nun is there, nun's priest is there, a monk is there, a friar is there, a merchant is there, right? A clerk is there. Now, a parson is there. Now, most of these persons, they are corrupt people. So this shows that church by that time had become an object of ridicule, and people had started realizing the difference between the real person, the real religious person, and the persons who were trying to loot. For example, this pardoner who used to sell pardoners, right? Pardons. So this money had become important. So this stream became slowly more powerful after Renaissance, as I had indicated earlier. So secular literature, and this secular literature continues to be taught in today's classroom. And Shakespeare too is branded as a as a secular author. But is Shakespeare really secular? For example, let us take his play, The Merchant of Venice. The play has been banned in several states of the United States. Why has it been banned? If it is secular, American society also claims to be secular because of the religious overtones. I've quoted one of the headlines from a newspaper. New York school bans Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice for being anti-Semitic. So all of us know that there is a conflict of interest between Christianity and Judaism in The Merchant of Venice, and Shakespeare is out and out for Christians, and he's condemning Shylock simply because he happens to be a Jew. Then in Milton, we see Paradise Lost. From where has this story been taken? This story once again has been taken from the Bible, and it is written that most of those devils who came down along with Lucifer and fell and were punished by God and fell into the hell, they later on came out and they sat in the temples as deities. One of the deities happens to be Kuber, meaning thereby that all these gods that we Hindus worship, we are worshipping the devil's followers. So we are devils and they are gods, and we English teachers are propagating this myth in the classroom. So naturally, all our students, if they fall away from Hinduism and they become Christians, there should not be any. And another devil that falls from there happens to be not only Kuber but also goddess Lakshmi, right? And your Nadia, right? Shiva. So all they become the followers of devil. We teach Samson Agnesty, the book of Judges, where who is the false god and who is the true god. One of the tribes over there is the follower of Dagon. Now this Dagon is considered to be one of the followers of Lucifer, Satan, and therefore a devil. And the other, so what is the punishment needed? all the followers who are not following, all those people who are not following the real God, they need to be killed. And Samson pulls down the heavy structure, right? So what is the punishment that we deserve? The Hindus deserve to be killed. And therefore, we are trying to justify jihad in the English classrooms. Now, let me switch over to Dryden, all for love. Now, what is this love? There are three virtues, Christian virtues: faith, hope, and charity. But there are some Christians who say, no, the three virtues are faith, hope, and love. According to Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 13:13. There is a translation of the New Testament under the heading, the greatest is love. So this love, all for love, and the greatest is love. But in India, we don't care for love more. We care for public duty more, right? In India, the performance of public duty is highly praised and practiced. Lord Krishna is revered mainly because he preached the doctrine of karma, action, duty. Even our poets here, right? Even a Riti Kalin poet, he says, Nahi parag, nahi madur madhu, nahi vikas hikal, ali kali hi so bindeo, age kaun hawal. So the king is being asked to pay duty. All for duty and all duty for all. These are the two slogans of the Indian lifestyle. But what is the English teacher trying to do? In this, while teaching this text, all for love, Dryden's all for love, the teacher simply says all for illicit love. He tries to glorify this illicit love. He tries to glorify Dryden's Antony for turning away from his duties as a king, and the teacher tries to justify he's caring more for his personal love. So this is a typical, very typical example of an effort of changing the sensibility of the Indian students in the English classroom. Same is the case with reference to the prescription of female poets. Hardly any Indian, any English poetess is taught. From Chaucer to 20th century. So during these 400 years, hardly any poetess is available. All male poets are prescribed. This is a very typical instance where it is believed that women perhaps cannot write poetry, which happens to be an intellectual activity, but women can write fiction. Fiction means all gulp. They can tell lies, right? So Jane Austen. So Jane Austen is glorified, and what is she doing? She's being glorified for dealing with the themes of marriage. Women themselves are interested in marriage, and this is what they try to preach. Now, John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress is another very interesting example. Then William Golding's Lord of Flies, Graham Greene's Power and the Glory. I've already talked about T.S. Eliot. So now the question is, where do we go from here? I give you my own example and then I'll end the matter. On 25th of December in 1982, as a matter of fact, I and one of my friends who presently happens to be the registrar at IKS University, Kerala, we went to a church. We said that because we were doing English studies and we perhaps could not understand so many things in English classrooms, so we should familiarize ourselves with the traditions and culture of Christians. So we went to the church. And the church, we stood in one of the lines and we started whispering, what are they doing? So one of the gentlemen asked us, are you Christians? So Tiwariji immediately said, no, we are not Christians, but we have come here to become Christians. So he said, all right, you come outside and this line is not there for you. And that prasad that was being offered which we later on came to know was some kind of beef dipped in wine was being offered over there, and we were saved. But we followed the priests, and one of the priests said that if you believe that you are a Christian, then you are a Christian by faith. So he said Christians could be of 5 types. One of the type used to be Christian by faith. So what we are doing in the classrooms is that we are converting our students to Christianity by faith. This is exactly what Macaulay was also saying, that all these people who offer these courses in English, they convert themselves to Christianity. They may continue to be Hindus in name only, but their sensibility and their way of thinking becomes entirely Christian. Now the question is it the right thing? Are we doing something according to the Constitution, or are we acting against it? The issue is open before you, my dear friends. You think over the matter and decide for yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful session, sir. You have drawn a historical line from Dharma. You have talked about Hinduism, Christianity, Buddhism, preamble of our India. You talked about constitution. You talked about law. It was a very insightful and a wonderful session, sir. Thank you. Now the platform is open for the audience to put their questions. Is there any questions?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Actually, I've put it in the chat box, but I'd like to directly speak to the speaker. I strongly feel that teachers of English literature and language should interpret everything from a humanitarian perspective. Teachers, hello?
Yes, please.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very much.
Yeah, so from humanitarian perspective, and teachers should support humanism, then no religion can do any damage. Be human, and then everything will fall in its place, is what I believe in, and I do the same thing in classrooms. I tell my students, all human beings are the same because the blood is red for everybody. Yeah, and I ask them, conduct research and find out whether somebody's blood is blue or white. No, and pain is common to everybody. Suffering is common to everybody. So we have to have common sense, and we have to have right attitude. And humanism is what I feel we have to interpret in all our classrooms, rather than religion or whatever. So that's what I believe in. Thank you.
I think that is more of an observation, Pushpaji.
Because here we don't preach any religion or anything through our classes. I mean, literature, while teaching language or literature. So the question of religion doesn't come about there at all, to influence the students to become Christians or whatever. So that's what I don't know. That's my personal view. So if everybody can practice that, I feel there can't be any drastic change.
I'm happy you made this observation. And Murali Krishnan is also saying the very same thing almost. Our constitution accommodates all religion. That's fine. This is exactly the point of contention, that our constitution wants us to be secular. But in the classroom, we are directly or indirectly becoming Christians and propagating Christianity. overt. I use two words, overt and covert. Whatever Macaulay had planned was the overt planning, covert planning to convert people from to convert people to Christianity. The same paradigms are being taught, or same paradigms are being followed in the English classroom, and perhaps there is no way out because those texts have got to be taught. After all, if you have to talk about a text like The Merchant of Venice, you have to talk about Antony, and you have to talk about Shylock. Naturally,
Yeah.
you cannot explain that hatred without bringing in the hatred between two religions. You
Yeah.
have to refer to Christianity, you have to refer to Jewish relationship, you have to refer to the hatred between these two religions. So
Yeah.
every time simply saying that humanitarian approach will do, after all, whatever approach was adopted by the code of that law, was that humanitarian approach or was that the Christian approach? Was the judgment delivered in favor of Christianity or against Jewish people? Hmm? So
Yeah.
that judgment has also got to be seen, and that has got to be analyzed in the classroom.
I interpret it this way, like probably the backdrop you have the Jews and the Christians, but even though the attitude of Shylock, like to take a pound of flesh, cannot be appreciated. So that we is what I put into them, rather than the religion Jew or Christian. So we have to be humanitarian in our approach. That's what I tell my students, irrespective of whatever the text might say.
No, you cannot impose certain things from your own side. You have to stick to the text. You yourself are saying that irrespective of the text, you are doing something in the classroom. Now that cannot be done, and this is not my attitude only. In American universities, if the course has, if a particular text has been banned, so I am not only reading that particular text in that particular way.
Okay,
So
that's
if you are
that's why
doing
the
something
whole
that is
world is
not there in
suffering
the
now.
text,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with you, but then I strongly feel the world is suffering today because of this kind of an attitude.
so what is the way out? This is exactly the point in question, because the constitutional directive is one thing. So how
Yeah,
do we select our texts? You see, our constitutional directive is that we have to be secular. We
yeah,
don't have to be humanitarian. We have to be secular. So what type of text do we select to teach, and what should be our approach?
yeah,
Unfortunately, the line that we have been towing is the line of Macaulay, which happens to be of converting people to Christianity indirectly, covertly.
Okay. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Pushpa.
yeah.
Yes, Ram Sevak Thakur Sahab, you want to ask some question? May I put my question here directly? Yes, please, go ahead.
Sir, namaste. I am from Nepal.
Yes, please.
Sir, in a discourse by Acharya Rajneesh, I had once read that interpreting a text from multiple perspectives helps the text to remain alive. And that's why Mahabharata, I mean Gita, has been interpreted by several scholars. But sometimes what we see, our religious texts like Ramayana, Mahabharata, they have been interpreted through different lenses like psychoanalysis, feminism, and even lesbian theories. And that completely subverts the meaning that they want to teach us. What's your opinion about this, sir?
Sir, I made a very bold statement in the very beginning. I said that Indian literature happens to be dharmic. while the Christian literature, English literature happens to be Christian. So when you yourself, Thakur Sahab, are saying Indian religious texts, I disagree with the description. They happen to be dharmic texts, and I made a distinction between dharma and religion. Thakur Sahab, a dharmic text can be interpreted in several ways because dharma has got several interpretations, but a Christian text.
But whatever name, sir, we give, either dharmic or religious, the text remains the same. I mean, Ramayana, Mahabharata, you know.
They are dharmic texts. They are dharmic texts.
Yes, they are dharmic texts. And
no, not religious texts, right? So dharma, yes. And everything has got a dharma. What is the dharma of a woman? So naturally, you may apply feminism. You may apply. You may see it from the perspective of a woman. For example, how this disrobing has got to be seen from the perspective of Draupadi, or how this disrobing has got to be seen from the perspective of male human beings over there. What the duty of a husband over there? What the duty of a wife over there? How a woman has to make a balance between the desire of the mother-in-law or the desire of the husband, right? So all those things can be done. But when you take up a Christian text, I gave you the example of Paradise Lost. How are you going to explain this fact?
Yes.
When I gave you the example that this story has been taken from the Bible, the description of Nandi is being made, and Nandi is being described as a demon. So where is the humanitarian approach, or where is a different approach? Directly in the classroom, I'm saying that Nandi, worshipping of Nandi happens to be a devilish activity. So I'm propagating Christianity in the classroom.
Thank you, sir.
Exactly in the same way, there is a description of Kuber over there. Yes. And this Kuber, Mammon worship is there. Mammon. Who is this Mammon? Mammon happens to be the god of gold. Who is this god of gold in India? God of gold happens to be Kuber. In India, we worship Lakshmi and Kuber. Will it be described as devil's worship? But this is what the teacher of English is doing in the classroom. Where is the multiple perspective, sir?
Yes.
Right? So all these poets, all these authors, they happen to be Christian authors. So the only way that I feel here is that we should be concentrating more on language. We require in this country language, English language. In Nepal also we require English language. We do not perhaps require English literature, because English literature basically promotes Christianity and it promotes Englishism. Both these things are not required. Ji.
Okay, thank you, sir. Moving forward, now I would like to invite today's chairperson, Dr. Anita Saha, ma'am. And before inviting her, I want to introduce her. She is presently working as an assistant professor in the Department of English, Government Digvijay PG Autonomous College, Rajnandgaon. She has an experience of working with various departments in different positions. She has also given her duties in Intelligence Bureau, a central government paramilitary department. She is a recognized research guide of English in Hemchand Yadav University, Durg. She has in her credit 5 research papers in UGC Care Literature Journal and 5 book chapters in different ISBN books. and 2 short stories published in edited books. So, over to you, ma'am. A central government paramilitary department. Welcome you, ma'am.
Manjari, thank you, madam. Sir, it was really a feast listening to your discourses. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. G. Ghanshyam sir, the General Secretary and founder iSPELL, Dr. Garcha madam, Dr. Kirti Tiwari ma'am, and yes, the coordinator of the month, Dr. Archana Singh madam, my friend and colleague, Ms. Manjari Singh. Thank you all for giving me this chance. Sir, I completely agree with your view and your strong opinion that we don't require English literature to be taught in the Indian classrooms. But yes, we should teach English language just as a language so that the students, they can feel themselves be capable of competing in this whole world, because English has now become a lingua franca, as we say. Sir, you have dealt with many points. You started with the difference between religious and secular, what is religion and what is secular, the difference between secular and atheist, that atheist is different and secular is different. They are not synonymous. You also mentioned that secularism is a moment in society that's that started from Middle Ages. From that, you dealt with it the later half of the 20th century, where secular Christianity began to be advocated. You also gave us the definition and interpretation of Dharma. Sir, according to you, Dharma and religion, they are two different terms. Yes, I agree with you, sir. I also feel the same, that Dharma is something different and religion is something different. Before the Britishers, they came to our country, there was no religion, there was only Dharma. They brought this religion to our country. Religion, Hindu as a religion, that was not there. And I have also heard, I have also listened to many discourses and television news channels where they claim that Hindu is not a, it is not a religion, but Sanatan Dharma, that was a Dharma. So we belong to Sanatan Dharma, and Hindu as a religion, it never belonged. It was never in India. So Dharma, as we consider, Dharma is it is something which is directly related to karma. When we talk about Hindu Dharma, then it is not Dharma, it is not that religion that it depends upon worshipping some gods and goddesses. It is not something which is related to worshipping some gods and goddesses, but yes, it is something which enforces us, which teaches us to to perform our karma, that you also mentioned, so that it is the religious and moral duties governing individual conduct. Sir, you also mentioned that Dharma is one of the 4 components of the Purushartha. It includes duties, rights, laws, conduct, virtues, and right way of living. You also mentioned the Supreme Court's verdict, where it says that India was secular since the formation of the Republic. So, if India was secular, then is it really correct? Is it right on our part to teach English literature that teaches us, we being the teachers, being the professors of English literature, we are teaching the literature that is forcing our students towards Christianity. The same thing which, you gave your example of 1982. I also feel the same when I was doing my MPhil from Raipur. At the time, my class fellows, they were also Christians, and I used to go to church every Sunday. And I hardly used to go to temples, but frequently I was the visitor of church, and I was so much, I had so much faith on Christ at that time. Later on, I believed that I was being strayed from my dharma, and then I switched back. Yes, that is the thing. If I may be, on the path, then obviously our students may also think on the same way. So you mentioned various things. You gave various examples from literature, like Dryden's All for Love, Milton's Paradise Lost, The Merchant of Venice, to give examples from morality plays and miracle plays, claiming that Murder in the Cathedral can be considered as a miracle play. Sir, Macaulay's Legacy, that reported, so you gave a great effort in collecting and providing us all the details with proofs. So it was really a wonderful discourse. I don't have words to explain what I have learned from you, sir. There may be different opinions by the people on this matter, but yes, I do feel that we are teaching V.S. Naipaul, we are teaching Arundhati Roy in our classrooms, and they also are Indians. Maybe like you quoted, sir, about Raja Ram Mohan Roy, that they converted to Christianity. Maybe these people, they have not converted, like the conversion of ideas, the conversion of faith. So maybe they are converted by their faith. They are not Indians, they are not Hindus by their Dharma, but they have switched to the different faiths of the Christianity, and that may be due to the teaching of English literature. So that was all to say. Sir, I don't think after your discourse there is anything more to say about the topic. Thank you so much, sir, for such a lovely discourse on the topic. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Wonderful briefing, ma'am. So, moving to the concluding part, like this year, today's literary satsang is coming to an end. And to give concluding remark and to present the certificate, I would like to invite a man of distinct vision and a fountainhead of illuminating ideas, Dr. G.A. Ghanshyam, sir, founder and general secretary of iSPELL. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much, Manjari ma'am. Indeed, it's a pleasure and honor to be on the platform of iSPELL on every Sunday. And namaskar to Sharma sir. After a long time, we are meeting on the virtual platform and hope to see you soon in reality, as this is the end of Sunday Sahityik Satsang as far as iSPELL is concerned, because today is the 120th Sunday Sahityik Satsang without any break. And we started it on 5th of September 2020, and today is 25th of December 2022. So we had a wonderful journey of 120 Sunday Sahityik Satsangs. And indeed, today's topic was not only quite illuminating, but at the same time, there is a what you call it as you're walking on the sword, and on both the sides you need to balance. And the way you have made us to understand the both the realities, and at the same time the way you have taken the literary texts together to make us understand the aspects of it, that has really made it possible for us not only to understand it, but also to have our views towards it. Because reading the text and then interpreting the text and then listening to some other person and then framing our own ideas with the same thing what we are having. So that's what Bacon has said long back: conference makes a ready man. So this kind of an event is always a kind of a conference wherein not only we discuss our own ideas, our own ideologies, but at the same time we get to know other person's reaction also, and also his ideas, so that we can benefit ourselves, and also in due course of time we will be able to benefit the students as well. So indeed, it's a illuminating experience for all of us. So thank you very much, sir, for doing the honors on the platform of iSPELL. And though we are ending this Sunday Sahityik Satsang today, but we'll come out with some new format of iSPELL soon, because Sunday happens to be a busy day for all the people, those who always say we get only one Sunday in a week. Yes, absolutely. Every day is one day in a week. Even Monday is also one. Tuesday is also one. So Sunday is also one. Sunday cannot be two, or Monday cannot be two. But it actually happens the way you put it. Where are your priorities? And just giving 1.5 hours in on one particular Sunday towards the academics, because of which we are known, because of which we are in this world, because of which people call us as teachers, because of which people call us as ma'ams and sirs. If we are not doing that thing even in a week for 1.5 hours, then what are we going to do? So I don't know why people have been so reluctant to join us, and all the time people require certificates, certificates, certificates. I always believe that certificate is not going to certify us. What is going to certify us is this kind of an interaction, this kind of a deliberation, which not only enlighten us, but at the same time, which makes us to introspect ourselves and to certify ourselves, because no certificate in this world can certify us. So in the same way, what I could see in Dr. Sharma is the same thing. He has not only certified himself, but at the same time, he has made himself to be understood by others through his writings and his poems. So, sir, thank you very much for doing the honors on the platform of iSPELL. Indigenous Society for the Promotion of English Language and Literature feels really happy to give a token of gratitude to you on this occasion, 25th of December 2022, in the form of 120th Sunday Sahityik Satsang. So this certificate goes to Professor Dr. Susheel Kumar Sharma ji for doing the honors on the platform of iSPELL. Kindly accept it, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I accept it heartily, sir. That's
Thank
an
you, sir.
honor. That's an honor being done to me.
Always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to listen to you, sir.
It's my pleasure also, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. This certificate goes to Dr. Anita Saha for doing the honors on the platform of iSPELL, being the chairperson. So this platform not only provides opportunity for the speakers to speak, but at the same time, the budding scholars and the new entrants, and also the teachers, those who are serving in the field of English language and literature, not only to grab the opportunity, but also to prove themselves in the form of chairpersons. So this opportunity was bestowed on Dr. Anita Saha to be one of the chairpersons in the events of iSPELL. So this certificate goes to Dr. Anita Saha for doing the honors on the platform of iSPELL.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Feeling honored.
Most welcome. And the one who has started the ship rowing and brought it to the end and brought it to the port, Manjari Singh, and this certificate goes to Dr. Manjari Singh for doing the honors on the platform of iSPELL. So today, Digvijay College may be feeling very proud because two of the assistant professors of the same department are here doing the honors on the platform of iSPELL, and the third one has joined from Chirmiri, Mr. Chandan Soni, who was also a part of Digvijay College. So Digvijay, so Digantar tak Vijay hota rahe. So with that hope, this certificate goes to Dr. Manjari Singh. Sorry, okay,
Thank you,
very
sir.
good.
Thank
It
you
has
so
come
much,
out
sir.
doctor, so soon you will be going to be the doctor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Right. This certificate goes to Dr. Archana Singh for doing the honors on the platform of iSPELL as the event coordinator for the entire month of December. And she is the one who has taken all the initiatives to bring the resource persons, the chairpersons, the master of ceremonies on the platform of iSPELL. And it's a Herculean task for a coordinator to engage people and also to bring people, to coordinate with them, accommodate them on the platform, and also to make them understand about the timing, and also making us to know the timings, and also doing the honors on the platform of iSPELL, being the coordinator. So this certificate goes to Dr. Archana Singh for doing the honors on the platform of iSPELL. Kindly accept it, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I am quite thankful, and from the bottom of my heart, I must thank Mr. Pramod Dhengle, who was not only instrumental. Pramod, could you please switch on your camera so that the people can see you, because this is the last event of Sunday Sahityik Satsang. Pramod?
Both has not opened it, but I have done. I have done so.
Pramod, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yeah, please. I cannot see you.
I think it's
Dr.
video is
Kshamta
not there.
Chaudhary.
Yeah.
Dr. Kshamta Chaudhary. Pramod? Is Pramod visible?
No, so that video, I think video has some issue.
Okay, though he is invisibly
Yeah.
visible. Oh,
Now,
now you are there, right? So he is Mr. Pramod Thengle, who has not only led us with the ICT facilities, but he is the one who has made us to zoom out because we were zooming in, and he is the one who has made us to zoom out and reach people. Millions of people we have reached, and not only we have reached millions of people, but he is the one who has made us to go live on YouTube also. So all the videos of Sunday Sahityik Satsang are available on YouTube, so anyone can watch anytime. So even Mr. Pramod is supported by his very young, beautiful daughter. So in that way, iSPELL is also bringing people together. So Pramod, thank you very much for doing the honors on the platform of iSPELL. And I do thank Dr. Kshamta Chaudhary, if she is there. Kshamta, can we see you? Dr. Kshamta Chaudhary? Dr. Kshamta Chaudhary was the one who started from Rajasthan, Kota. She is the one who started making us visible on the platform with the help of Google Meet, because at that time she had the license of Google Meet, and because of which we could save many of our programs. And then later on Pramod joined us, and Pramod kept on doing it, and even when he was traveling also, he was doing the job. On every Sunday we were some way or the other making Pramod to make us go live, and he is the one who has not only helped us, but with the smiling face, as you can see right now, he has done all the duties. So I really take this opportunity not only to thank him, but also to pay my humble regards to him on behalf of all the people, those who have joined on the platform of iSPELL. I thank all the people, those who are there in the EC of iSPELL, and the members, those who have not only supported us, coordinated us, collaborated with us, but at the same time cooperated for a valuable thought. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to all those who have joined on the platform of iSPELL. I request Pramod to take uh, a screenshot of all the people, those who have joined today. If the people are
yeah,
there,
sure.
may I request all of you to switch on your videos so that we can have a mega picture of all of us.
Yeah. Yes, taken, sir.
Taken. Thank you. So thank you, Mukesh Kumar Shukla ji, for writing it on the platform of iSPELL that this kind of congregation and this kind of an association is very much necessary. But I don't know, somehow or the other, people do not want this. They want only the certificates, because they always think certificate are going to certify them in a much better way. But soon we will come out with a different kind of a format soon. May not be in the term of Sunday Sahityik Satsang, but some way or the other, iSPELL will always be there, because iSPELL is bound to spell to make the people spellbound. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
To propose the vote of thanks, I would like to invite our coordinator, Dr. Archana Singh ma'am.
Thank you, Manjari. I think vote of thanks has been proposed by Dr. Ghanshyam. So I'm very thankful to one and all present here. And it has always been very pleasing to listen from you and Dr. Sharma. And whenever you speak, I whenever you speak, your discourse always invokes some points for discussion. And indeed, sir, it was very insightful, very engaging, very interesting, very enlightening. And let me Anjali, for very perfectly you have moderated the session. Dr. Pramod Thengle for handling the technical things, and all the participants who attended and listened this discourse. And always, and because of them, this events, I'm very thankful to Dr. Kumar and Macaulays Krishnan and all other active participants. Just because of them, and they make it open. And continue for these other people, those people believe in learning, who believe in gaining knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.